Maybe we'll give it just a couple more minutes. Anybody? Oh, yeah. Okay, so let me read my field here. Due to health and safety concerns related to COVID-19 coronavirus, this meeting will be conducted by video conference or telephone call. At least a quorum of the board will be participating by video conference or telephone call in accordance with the provisions At this time, we will roll call the trustees in order to verify the virtual participation of each board member. Trustees, when your name is called, please acknowledge your participation in the meeting by stating either present or here. Ann Haynes, District 1, I believe is not going to join us tonight. Trina Stafford, District 2, here. I, Kim Butcher, District 3, I am present. Tish Woodruff, District 4. Here. Alisa Cruz, District 6. Here. Sorry, I skipped. Oh, there you are. I skipped Mike. Mike Rackley, District 5. Don't hear Mike. That's heard Alisa, right? Yes. Okay. District 7, Roger Livingston. Here. All right. It has now been established that although members of the board are not gathered in a physical location, we do have a quorum in attendance at this meeting by video conference or telephone call. This meeting has been duly called, and notice of this meeting has been posted in accordance with law. As such, I hereby call this meeting of the Greenville Independent School Board. Members of the public who desire to make comments related to this meeting will ask in the meeting notice to email their comments to comments@greenvilleisd.com by 5:30 p.m. today. Written comments will be read verbatim to the board. At this time, do we have any comments that were submitted?
We do not have any comments for agenda items.
No comments for agenda items. Then it's time for the invocation and pledge of allegiance. Dr. Legend, begin please.
Actually, Dr. Anderson will lead us today.
Okay.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this opportunity to gather together as school leaders and representatives, Father, of Greenville ISD, to do what's in the best interest of our students, do what's in the best interest of our faculty and of our community. Father, we ask and pray that you give each board member, our superintendent, our administrators, our teachers, and our faculty members wisdom from on high as they deal each day with these uncertain times. Father, guide us, direct us through this challenging time. Help us, Father, to make wise decisions, those that are in the best interest of our students, those that provide safety, security, and comfort. And Father, we ask this year that in the midst of all that we're going through, you provide to us peace. And through that peace, Father, understanding. Father, help us to be light in this community. Provide, Father, an opportunity for students to learn, Father, for students to be able to grow, and for students to be able to leave this place and make a difference in the world around them. In your Son's blessed name, we pray these things. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. So we are moving on to open forum and public comment for agenda items. Already covered that. So
Dr. Butcher, for the record, could we state that Mr. Rackley is now has joined the meeting?
541. Welcome.
Sorry, folks. Little technical difficulties there.
I understand. So, moving on to number 3, comments from individual board members. Anyone have any comments this evening? Oh, okay. Then we'll move right along to action and discussion items. Item A, consider approval of purchase over $50,000, operation conduct, connectivity interlocal acquisition agreement. Should have practiced that one. With Region 4 Education Service Center. Technology purchases.
Dr. Butcher and members of the board, this particular item is coming to you because it is a purchase over $50,000. Shannon Folk will present part of it, but as part of the introduction, I would just like to state that the state has introduced what they are calling Operation Connectivity, which is an attempt to allow students and families without internet to have internet provided through the school system. The funding is being done through the CEA will take care of half of the funding, and the local school district is required to take care of the other half. This also includes, in addition to actual internet service, it also provides laptops and Chromebook hardware. And so it's an opportunity that the deadline to take advantage of tomorrow, hence the reason for the last minute board meeting. And Shannon can explain to you exactly what we're requesting to order and from what budget it will be coming from.
Yes, so we are, can you guys hear me? Just making sure.
Yeah.
I'm on a different computer than normal, so it's a little, things are a little slow. President Dr. Butcher, members of the board, and Dr. Liggins, this is, I'm kind of moving a slide over here to the screen that hopefully you'll be able to see. This is the TEA's Operation Connectivity. Every year, for the past couple years, we have, you have actually as a board set aside about $180,000 a year for device refresh. This is just a budgeted item that we use for Chromebooks for our student to refresh those devices, refresh teacher machines, anything that could be a device refresh. That's kind of what that is set aside for. And we are looking to utilize those funds to do this, partially because this is about, to give you an idea here, if you look at the total device order cost, which is the second line here, that is for about 600 Chromebooks. So we are utilizing these funds as they were originally intended with the refresh plan. It's just taking advantage of the half price offer, so to speak, through TEA. That difference in cost, since we're paying half price, allows us to also use funds that would have normally been spent on those 600 Chromebooks. We are using to instead as well buy hotspots for our families. That's about it ends up being around 450 hotspots that we're going to be able to get through this program, and those numbers are the 450 hotspots and the 600 Chromebooks are really keeping us within what has already been budgeted for this year, and that will be coming basically directly out of the technology budget that's already set. So there's no additional funds from anywhere else. This is already budgeted money. It's actually budgeted for device refresh, so it is fulfilling that as well through this. To give you an idea in comparison, normally that $180,000 is able to refresh about 900 Chromebooks, anywhere between 8 to 900 Chromebooks per year, just based on market fluctuations throughout the school year. So we're getting a really good deal in being able to get 600 of them, as you can see there, for about $123,000. That's the total cost. Our portion is $61,500 for 600 Chromebooks. That includes their licensing that comes with that. On the hotspot side, our portion is the $47,025. That includes it's an unlimited Verizon wireless plan for as well as filtering, which is required for us to have. Additionally, that there's some extra things like they label them for us, that stuff like that. That's part of their requirements being purchased in bulk like that through Region 4. They have some federal and state requirements on them as well. And so this is basically what the state or TEA it has provided to districts to be able to purchase devices as well as connectivity.
You made also that these are devices that otherwise would be unavailable. The state has made that they, I'm sure not only Texas, that's the reason they're not available to just individual districts. Large organizations such as the state of Texas education system has gone directly to manufacturers and to make sure that we can get these in time for school. And otherwise, they would be on back order there. Well, till possibly the spring because they are making them now just for school. And I and I greatly appreciate the state for saying that they would pitch in and do half or something like this. I would like to remind you, however, that um, the ISD was entitled to $1.2 million that the state kept. And so, although they're generously pitching in half of this cost, they did keep $1.2 million that the federal government gave to us for this very purpose. It's just my little soapbox I had to step on really quickly.
Right. Any questions from the board about the? Now, what happens to the cost after the year is up? Do we get them back, or are the families able to keep them and pay them $10 monthly rent, or what happens?
Right. So this is a 1 year agreement, as you had said. After the agreement, the devices would be, I guess, the ownership of the devices would be with Greenville ISD, and we could opt if we wanted to continue to pay for the monthly subscription for as many as we wanted or all of them. So at that point, they're really ours. The 1 year agreement is just the agreement that TEA was able to make with the different carriers to try to get some buy-in from them as well.
Also, we anticipate it's not necessarily depending on throughout the year. As we know, the economy is fluctuating at this point. This farewell may not be enough. Um, we are currently in the process of speaking with Choose US, as well as L3 Harris to see if they'd be willing to support other families that this cost may not cover. And it appears as if that's going quite the request so far. No one's put up a roadblock as of yet. No one's given any money either, but a roadblock yet. Instead, it's not something they don't do.
What percentage of our families actually need hotspots?
At this point, it's a little bit unknown because we still don't have families that are registering. We have about 3,000 our students that have registered, not necessarily families. So we don't know. We've done surveys throughout the year to see how many, but again, that's just a percentage of people who've also answered the survey. But we do know that we have 75% economically disadvantaged students, and that was before an economic collapse and a global pandemic.
Questions? right. The board action requested is to approve the authorization to purchase 600 Chromebooks and 450 hotspots in an amount over $50,000 for TEA's Operation Fund Connectivity. Do I hear a motion?
I motion.
So moved.
Motion from Elisa. Have a second.
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 I think I heard Mike.
Rebecca.
All right. Any further discussion? All right. All in favor? Raise your right hand.
Aye.
Any opposed? Seeing none, okay, that passes unanimously by all present. Thank you very much.
Is this coming out of the fund balance?
No, ma'am, this is coming directly from technology budget. That's already been budgeted.
Okay, for the next item, we just thought it'd be prudent to always have this, or not always, but at least for the foreseeable future, have this item on the agenda so we can discuss district preparations for the school year during the pandemic. For any questions, Dr. Liggett, you want to start us off, and then people may have questions.
Sure, thank you. I don't have anything in particular to share with you other than we thought, in fact, I called Dr. Butcher one day last week. It's all a blur now because we had found, in addition to all the other things we're dealing with, we had found mold at the 6th grade Travis Center. And it was, from the pictures, it looked like nothing you've ever seen before. And obviously we called some specialists and people to talk to us about it, and they immediately said, shut down the building, get out of there. You don't need to be there. So I was planning for worst case scenario, which is we're going to have to figure out how to have 6th graders and Travis elementary kids in another building for the foreseeable future. But Friday and today we have new developments that we found out, and I will let Dr. Anderson share those with you.
Dr. Butcher, Dr. Liggins, board members, we did discover as technology was going through classrooms in preparation for counting materials, a mold in 2 classrooms at the campus 6th grade center, connected to a block of other classrooms. So there were 10 classrooms in this block. We shut down the building, called in GISD, who we have facilities agreement with. They are not able to come out and do testing at this point because of the COVID situation. Therefore, they pass us to their recommended environmental provider, which is Farmers Environmental Group. They came out on Friday, did an investigation, discovered that in the 10 rooms, only 2 of those rooms require remediation of the mold. You have to have the investigation conducted by someone who's certified in mold remediation, which we did. We'll have to have the mold remediated by a licensed contractor in those 2 rooms. So out of the 10 rooms, 8 rooms are rooms that we will have to replace the tiles, do some cleaning in there, but they do not have mold. 2 of them do have mold, so we will have to have at least 3 bidders come through who are licensed to remediate mold. They'll come in this week with the investigator from Farmers. They will look at the rooms, they'll give their bids. We will select the provider to come in and do the remediation. It's estimated the remediation will take 3 to 4 days to complete when they're able to begin that. And then we'll have to have the air quality tested again again by the environmental group to make sure that everything meets the appropriate standards. According to the investigator, this is not an unusual situation. It seems that somewhere during this time period where people were not in the building, the HVAC system in some of the rooms were not working to their top efficiency, and so the humidity levels went high. Once you get above 65% humidity, it will allow for mold to grow. And so we will have to have, as part of this remediation, a professional HVAC company come out, clean the HVAC units, coils, the drip pans, the diffusers, and make sure that's clean, replace the tiles, wipe down the walls, the ceiling grid, etc., to make sure that there's antimicrobial chemicals put on there to kill off the mold and then get that area recertified. So the timeline depends on how soon the contractors can get out. The investigator did say that he will emphasize that time is of the essence for school beginning. I did not envision an issue with being able to get the building complete before school starts. We will be able to use the Travis sixth grade with people in the building as long as we keep them out of that block of 10 rooms, just as a precaution until the remediation is done. And at this point, they are estimating based on similar projects they've done, this is probably a $10,000 rent remediation. So very much better than it could have been. So we will be on top of this, working on it this week, next week, and if all the planets and stars line up, hopefully they'll be able to get contractors in next week, get it taken care of, get teachers back in their classrooms so that they can prepare for the next
year. Yeah, that was a much better scenario than I had dreamt about. Hearing about it initially. So that's great. Other questions, comments about that? If we can move on to anything else anybody's got on their mind.
How are we doing with teachers? Do we have enough teachers to fill all the spots? And how about those that only want to teach online? Are we able to accommodate them?
We've heard, my understanding is we've heard from very few teachers who are not being very flexible and willing to do whatever needs to be done. We did have a large amount of teachers hire, much more than usual, but the mass majority, in fact, today I heard is less than 5 who have had some concerns about returning to the point to where they only wanted one assignment or another. I've told all teachers at this point to assume you'll be doing both, just because we're still waiting on well over 2,000 kids to tell us their choices, and so we're ready to go. We're geared up and ready to go, and it seems like we have a great team that's willing to roll up their sleeves and do what's going to be necessary in order for us to be able to do it.
So we're going to be calling those kids pretty quick that have not registered students.
We've been doing a variety of things to try to get them on. Most of them, and it's not, when speaking with superintendents across the state, it's not unique to Greenville by any means. A lot of families are just simply waiting for what's the next change. So why go on now and I have to go on again next week anyway because something's going to change. So we've done several things. We've had principals call. We're doing another campaign as early as Wednesday to get the word out for folks to get on there and just take care of it.
Okay. Any other questions about our preparation? I don't see anybody in the meeting room, so
I'm wondering if it would be a good idea to have Dr. Anderson do a report about what it's taken to get the buildings and the buses and all that ready for school. Maybe that'll alleviate the fears of parents.
Okay. That can definitely be done.
Good.
I have one thing. How's the roof coming at the high school?
Roof at the high school?
Yes, ma'am. How the roofing at the high school coming along?
Dr. Anderson?
Yes, sir. The roof at the high school is still in progress. They are been slowed down a little bit this week and last with predictions of potential rain because their schedule has been to start about 3:30 in the morning, ripping off a section of roof, and then when the next shift comes in, putting that section on. Of course, they're hesitant to rip off when knowing early in the morning you may have rain come through and flood the school because of that. So they've lost a few days for that. They're still fairly close to schedule. They have completed, I think, the membrane layers over the locker room area, over the gym area. They're currently over the instructional area of the building. I will be up there on Wednesday, and I'll know a little bit more at that point exactly how far they've gotten. But they're making good progress on it. Their biggest concern is when they're going to get the last layer, which is they put the hot asphalt on, and then they put the rock back on. But what we've told them is, and the reason that they're concerned about that is because they're going to have to push rock from the ground level up to the roof level. And of course, if you have people coming and going from the building, that creates concern. What I've told them is that the schedule now is for teachers to work Monday to Thursday, which gives them some Friday. In theory, there shouldn't be people entering for them to do that. And I've talked with Mr. Jarvis about having teachers who feel like they need to be up there on Friday and the weekend to come in through the CTE building and to get into the building that way. That way they're not going in and out of those entrances where they're adding the rock. But at this point, they're on schedule. The reports that I've received from the independent inspectors are very positive about the work that's being done. They're correcting problems that are not necessarily their issue, if you will. For instance, where the skylights are, they found an issue with some of the siding leaks around that window. Rather than just go ahead and do their part and pass it by, they requested that the Arm Coach engineers help them come up with a plan that would make sure that there's no leaking in those areas, so that they're not coming back tracing back leaks that really don't belong to them. It's because of the window. So I was quite pleased with the fact that they're looking well beyond just that roof and just that envelope. They want to make sure that they stop any problems that they see along the way. And so that's been very helpful. So been pleased with the progress so far. And they are, like I said, they are close to being on schedule. Having this extra time is helpful to them, though, to not pressure them when there's potential for rain.
All right. Any other questions? If the minutes can reflect, Ms. Cruz had to leave the meeting at 6:03. Any other questions? Not hearing any. So barring another emergency meeting, we will see everybody for the next regular meeting, which I guess that'd be on the 18th, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. We'll see if that holds out. It's an interesting time. Hearing no other business before this board, I will adjourn the meeting at 6:07. Thank you all very much.
Thank you all. Greatly appreciate it.